Hi, let's discuss about electromagnetism. We already discussed something on magnetic fields. Now here, what is magnetic effect of electric current? When current passes through a conductor, then it will generate a magnetic field. Let's see this demo piece which shows how an electric conductor of electricity passing through a conductor generates a magnetic field. Here you should note the direction of the magnetic field also is given by the right hand thumb rule. Yeah, continue our journey on the magnetic fields. This is a demo for magnetic field generated by an electric current called the magnetic effect of electric current. Now see this setup carefully. This is a small coil of wire, coil of enameled copper wire. There is a compass, is a Mariner compass, and then there is a battery 2 into 1.5 volts. Two cells of 1.5 volts connected in series will give 3 volts. Now I am just trying to connect the coil with the battery. Now just see. Now observe carefully the deflection of the compass needle. The moment I connect the coil with the battery, the compass needle deflects. Rather, it starts rotating in fact. Now this shows that the electric current immediately produces a magnetic field around it. Now see once again. Now I am just connecting the coil with the battery. See, immediately there is a deflection in the compass. Can you see the deflection, please, guys? Now what is important to observe is something called the right hand rule. Now the current flowing through the coil is in this direction, shown by this arrow. Now there is a right hand thumb rule. Now suppose I curl the right hand fingers and I hold the thumb in the direction of the current flow. Current is flowing in the upward direction. Now the fingers will now indicate the direction of the magnetic field. So the magnetic field will be curled like this as shown by the arrows. Now just see, the magnetic field is shown by blue lines. It is given by the curved fingers. Faraday's law of electromagnetic induction. Actually, Michael Faraday formulated this law in 1831 when he was experimenting with a magnet. It states that when a magnetic field associated with the conductor changes, then it produces an EMF. In other words, whenever a conductor moves in a magnetic field, then it generates a EMF or a voltage. Or conversely, if a magnet moves in and out of a coil of wire, then also it will produce a EMF or a voltage. And this is a very important principle. It is used in electric generators or dynamo. Dynamo and generator are one and the same thing. They are synonymous words. Now what is an electric generator or a DC dynamo? What are the components? A dynamo basically has an armature having a core with a winding of copper wire. Many hundreds of turns of copper wire on it. And when the armature rotates in a magnetic field, which is produced by a permanent magnet normally, and then it produces an electric current or a EMF. Now the armature coil is attached to a commutator brush arrangement, and the commutator basically converts the armature, whatever it produces in AC current, AC voltage, this is converted to DC by the commutator. The commutator is called a split ring commutator, which is two half portions of the ring joined together with a gap. Now the commutator converts the AC produced by the armature coil into DC. This is called split ring commutator. Let's see some details of this. Hi, this is a DC dynamo. This is a dynamo assembled by me long time back, mostly from homemade parts, and this generates 2 volts DC when rotated at a high speed, which is actually enough to light a small torch lamp. Now just note down what are the essential components of this dynamo. it has got a permanent magnet, which is a horseshoe magnet, and then there is something called an armature, which is got a core made of sheet metal, and then it has enameled copper winding. It has got about 700 turns of 28 SWG copper wire on this. And then when actually this is attached to a wheel, and when I rotate this armature, in the magnetic field generated by the horseshoe magnet, then it generates a EMF, which is an alternating current, and this goes to a commutator, and this is a commutator, and it has got is called a split ring commutator because it's in two halves. And when the armature rotates, it produces an AC current, and the split ring converts it into DC, and then there is a pair of brush through which the current moves out. Now I have connected this dynamo to a moving coil galvanometer. Now just see, I am rotating this armature. When I rotate this, just see the deflection on it produces a current, and there is a deflection in the galvanometer. Can you see this deflection? It's a very small voltage because I am rotating at a very small speed only. When I increase the speed at a high, if I rotate it at a high speed, then it generates about 1.5 to 2 volts, and it can light a small lamp also. Now I rotate in the opposite direction. Just see that the deflection needle is deflecting in the right side. Can you see this deflection? Now essentially DC dynamo and DC motor have the same components. All of them have a magnet, armature, commutator, and a brush. Now DC motor and dynamo are essentially same, but then there is another type of commutator which is called, this is a split ring commutator. There is another type of commutator which is called the slip ring commutator, and it is used in AC generator. Thank you. Now DC motor, as we discussed, it is almost the same as a DC dynamo in terms of the components. Mostly a DC dynamo can also work as a DC motor. Now it converts electrical energy into mechanical energy, that is mechanical energy of rotation. Now the electrical energy causes the armature to rotate. Let's see how it works. DC motor can run with a battery. Hi, let's see how a DC motor works. There is a permanent magnet with north-south. This north pole of the magnet, the south pole of the magnet, and then there is a armature with a winding. Now this is a commutator and brush. The brushes are connected to a DC voltage, perhaps through a battery. Now the current flows through the commutator, and then it goes to the current passes through the windings. Now it creates a magnetic field. The armature gets magnetized. Suppose this is north and south pole. Now what will happen? This is the north pole of the permanent magnet. This is the north pole of the armature. Now there will be a repulsion. Because of the repulsion, the armature will move. Now when it completes half circle, then because of this split ring commutator, the direction of the current will change. Now this pole comes here, but it again becomes the north pole. So there will be a repulsion, and the armature will rotate. So this every half turn, the direction of the current will change, and so the motor will keep rotating. So this is the main part. This is the main job of the split ring commutator. Thank you. Hi. Now I have a small DC motor. This is a DC motor, and it works on a 3-volt battery. Now this is attached to a wheel. Now essentially the parts of the DC motor, as we discussed, are it has got a permanent magnet, it's got an armature, and then it has got a commutator and brush. This is a split ring commutator. Just see this diagram very carefully and understand what is inside a motor or a dynamo, DC motor or a DC dynamo. Now I am connecting this motor to a small battery 2 into 1.5 volt giving 3 volts DC. Now just see that this is connected to a wheel, and the wheel rotates at a high speed. It's a 3 volt DC motor.
Can you see this?
These are some points you should think about in the light of what we have discussed. Thank you.